So using what I have, okay, I have to make it work. So here's the peak that I know in a sense of where the placement I placed it at. And here's the middle of the car. Okay, there's the peak of the distance on that side, right? And I'm off by a little bit, okay, because there's the line right there. But what am I chasing? I'm trying to figure out what am I chasing. There's the line right there, and here's the fall off of the surface. So if I go back and say, where is that peak? And I don't have a line of reference, so I'm going to have to look at the car reference itself and say, okay, that peak is right here, this line. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and just place it. Even though the vertical motion is correct, that I already have it in the other photograph, I'm just going to split between the two and place it here as close as possible. Okay? Same thing here. Like this image is just a slight tad bit off. Okay. So I'm just going to place them in the vertical motion. I'm already correct. Just A to B like that. Okay. So there's my hood. Okay. Now, I want to do a real rough rudimentary shape of this. So, but in the concept of what I'm talking about, A to B, I'm just going to work out this hood very quickly for you, so you can understand what I'm talking about. Okay. Now, the front hood, if I look at the front view, it doesn't give me any information at all. Okay. I'm going to split this guy just the distance between there. And see how the guide is off by a little bit, but I'm still going to use it. I'm going to just use and eyeball it and just work it out that way. Okay. Now, I have a very straight, planar view or movement. That is not the case, because look at this arc. Okay. So I want to match that. When I insert an edge or insert any type of extra information, I'm always going to insert it in the middle to break the distance between two of these meshes all the time. Okay? And I'm going to place them right there, because there's the movement right there. And since I'm off the line by a tad, I'm just going to mirror that same idea. Okay? And there's the other line of action. And I'm going to place that just to break this line differences, like that. Okay. Move that up a tad bit. Okay. So there's movement right there. I split it in half. I'm going to split it again, another half, and a half again in the middle of this polygon and that polygon. Okay. Going at the side view, trying to match the profile, moving it as much as possible. Just like that. Okay, in the front view, let's get this organization correctly. So let's move this. There's my line of interest I'm trying to follow. Because I don't have a top-down view, I have to do it this way. Okay, I'm just going to line it up. You know what I can do is line it up to the line right here. And then stagger it back just slightly, like that. And since this is the peak, I wish I had a top or an actual. This isn't helping that much at all right here. This line of information. So what I'm realizing is that I have to have another section in here to support this movement right in here. So I'm going to insert an edge right down the middle to split between the two. I'm going to make sure that because of the line of interest, I know there's an action going on here, so I'm going to just follow it and break this contour to match that line of action. Like that. Okay. I'm going to insert another one so that I can kind of break this information right in here. Okay. I'm going to take that edge, extrude it out, have that be the peak. And what am I talking about? Have this be right in here. What's going on?
Do you mind if we grab some computers?
To what?
Do you mind if we grab some computers?
No, go ahead. And what am I building over here? this right there. There's a division right here. I don't have a top view, so this is where it becomes really problematic for me. I'm going to insert another one to solve this motion. And look at the top view. And I know it's more like this. Okay. So I have that. There's not a lot of movement with the front hood, so this is problematic for me. Because it needs to be really in this motion that I got it going on here, in this view. So I want to try to solve that. Okay. But then I have another line of interest and action right here. Okay. So I want to incorporate that. So I'll break it again in the middle. And I'll shove this line of information to accommodate that. Moving it on the plane as much as possible. Okay. This line needs to break itself and be more accommodating. Okay. Look at this wonky movement I got going on. It's not good. Look at my wireframes. Look at my direction and flow. Does that make sense now a little bit more? It's okay, it doesn't have to click right now. Okay. So my line of action, I got a bunch of stuff moving. I just need to make sure that this break is happening in a very meaningful way. Like this here to there needs to be straight. So this here to there needs to be straight, but straight down. Okay. So I'm going to have to move this guy down here more to get that line of action going. Look at that straight line. So there's my front hood somewhat. Okay. If I look at the image, it actually comes all the way down to the actual kidney grill. Okay. So let's bring it down to the kidney grill. I still don't like this line of action. And you can see how the lines can tell you a lot. Okay. If I look at the front grille, this needs to be all the way to here, because it's basically using all the information all the way to the front. So if I do that, I'm going to insert another edge in here just to create nice even distribution. Okay. And then slowly pick those two edges, very slowly, very gingerly, nothing too crazy. Make very light, slight movements. Okay. Bring them down, keep them organized, keep them clean. So if I select that edge, extrude, I'm working out the movements and the positioning of all this. And the grill is all the way to right there. Right there. Let's see. First line, and this is where I got to start looking at reference of the model and the images to start to indicate where I need to be. It's at the first little cross section with the first line. Here's my first cross section with the first line, and it needs to sit right there. So I'm at the right spot. Okay. But I'm not in the right spot in the side view. Okay. So where's the furthest peak at in a sense of A to B motion? Here's the A. There's the B. And you're like, that doesn't feel right? That's okay. because we're going to make it feel right. Okay. I push everybody out to the peak. I don't even care if it's right or not. I'm just using it just to make sure I'm in the right spot. Okay. I can even bring these guys out like that. And it's a little too harsh. Okay. So I have that. This line of motion is kind of crazy, so I'm not really too happy with that just now, but I'm going to leave it for now. Okay. And this dip right here is too harsh. And I can already tell in the front, see that? And that can't be. So I need to insert going this way. And it won't let me insert because I need to merge these meshes together. So if I go to the option, increase my mesh value, and now insert, I can do that now. And I can simply just move it up. Preferably this peak right here needs to move up. And where's that line of action? It's here, starts there, and there's the that action at the end. So this is B, and here's A.5, and there's A, right? So you can start to see where it's peaking and turning in, and not still really feeling like a car right there. Okay, so I want to insert another one. And work out the difference to make it more round, make it more flowing, make it more smoother. And look at that shot, and I can't see nothing. But I know it's wonky. And I need to fix it. And how can I look at it if I can't see it in these ortho views? I look at it in this view. Look at this wireframe. Look at the front wireframe. It looks like it's indenting. Okay. So I pull it out. Look at this flow line. Look at this flow line. Look at that edge. You gotta stare at it. Look at that edge. Is it clean? Okay. Let's see. And I got way more movement in here. Okay. So I want to come in, inject another line, start segmenting this guy over here. Move this guy there, so I can go around this bend. Right? So I can select these faces, or this edge, and extrude this out. And look how I do it one face per face sometimes. Look, 'cause if I select this edge, look, I'm going to go around the grill now. Look, I'm going to come around the grill again. Look, direction, flow. Look. Don't go too far. You might build too heavy, too quickly. Look at me. I'm building the car. You see how I'm flowing direction? I'm moving around. So I can sit there and say, okay, where's that cutoff line? Where is it in the reference? Right there, straight across where that line of interest is moving. Right there, boom. Then I may make this guy straight, because that is not a turning surface at all. So why should my model be turning? It should not. Straight. Straight across. When you move that guy, move these guys. Look at that line of interest. It's wonking down and back up. It can't be. Make them come down. It's a hood. It's wrapping. It's turning. Okay. Insert, edge. Get rid of that face. There's my front hood. Let me see. Separate. Ungroove. Let me see. Extrude. Let's see. Insert edge loops. Tighten that corner up. Take it off X-ray. Take it off wireframe. Looks like a hood to me. Look at that, nice, solid trim. Look at this movement right here. See that wonkiness right there? I can see it, and I know where it's coming from. It's that forcing of the edge right there. So break again. Work this guy out. Look at this line of action. Make it round. Look, that little movement I just did, that turning of it a little bit slightly, let's see if it made all the difference. See? It's taking away a lot of this bowing action in here that I have going on. These edges are just too tight, so I'm just going to get rid of them. There's a, look at that. And look at that edge. It's not hard enough. Is it hard here? Yeah, that's real hard right there. Boom. Okay. It's real hard. It's nice and soft right here. And it's hard on the outside. So where's my outside line? X-ray. It's this one. Okay, so it's that one. That needs to be hard. Okay, so how do I harden up an edge? I want to double it up. One on both sides. 3 edges makes a nice hard edge. 1, 2. Let's see. X-ray. 3. Look at that. Nice and hard. Look at the sheen, just like a car. See how close I can get? Boom. Right? And it goes to nothing. So I can't have this section, because look at that. It's added enough divisions in here that I don't want. So I got to come back in here and get rid of this extra section, because that's what creates the doubleness. And it's doubling up because of that. Collapse. Hit 3. Look. Nice, hard, soft, nothing. Works for me. Right? This movement in here is just crazy. I know it doesn't do that. So the top view, I have not done anything to figure out the top view. And I've not done anything to figure out the front view. But I know by looking at some of the views now, it can easily say that if this is the peak, these guys need to be just slightly moved backwards. And they need to be cured in visuals because they don't look that great. So if I keep this turning sensation where the surface is moving, keep lining these guys back up a bit more, and then work out the differences here. And what is the difference? Is that this is bowing like a front of the car should. So if I create this bowing sensation of movement, where this is straight at the peak, and And everything starts to turn from this point, so I get a nice roundness out of this. There you go. Okay. And look what I did over here. Maybe this stuff right here. The peak of it is here. I go to a side view. Look how far I stretched this out to the peak where that line is indicating to me. Okay, well in the front view, where does it need to be? Well, it needs to be way back here. So here's B, because here's A. Okay, now work out the differences. I know this is in the right spot. That's in the right spot. I know it turns. Well, I don't have a top view. So I'm going to make this thing turn by doing this. Insert edge loop right in the middle. A, B. A and a half, B. Wham, wham. It can't go beyond this peak because this is B. It can't go over like that. It needs to be under it. Okay? Because I moved this stuff back. One, two. See that? But this harshness I don't need, so I gotta start getting rid of that. I gotta start cleaning. Look. That edge. Collapse. Look, this edge. Look how I pick. I get in there. I need to get these edges out, so I'm going to rotate it into a spot where I can get at it. Okay, here we go. Look at that. Nice and soft, billowing surface. Look at it. Same thing. It goes inside. Look. Same thing. Right? I don't even have the views and I'm working this stuff out. Come on. Alright, so this is the high end of all of it. Okay? But I don't want you to do this tonight. I want you to do something else. Okay? I want you to construct the whole car with direction and flow in mind. Okay? So I'm going to stop the recording.